What is up, B-boys and B-girls around the world? My name is Austin, and today I'll be demonstrating the Munchmill or the Babymill. Now, the Munchmill is a contained windmill that uses the power of a small kick rather than a leg swing to generate momentum. Prerequisites. Barrel mills. Barrel mills are a prereq so that you are comfortable with windmilling on your head, especially without the direct aid of your hands. Windmill to headstand. This is a luxury because the transition emphasizes the popping motion utilized in Munchmills. Stretching. You want to stretch your neck, your shoulders, and your back. Exercises. Exercise 1 is known as the bent leg barrel mills. These help you simulate the feeling of a more compact and contained windmill. Understanding this feeling prior to actually munchmilling is important as you will experience drastic changes in your mill's velocity and acceleration. To execute this move, simply start off by doing a few barrel mills, then slowly bring your knees to your chest as close as possible. Exercise number 2 is hang glide to munch backspin. This exercise is the start of your munchmill and it will help you get comfortable with crossing your legs unlike a traditional windmill. If you go clockwise, aka right arm stab, then you will want your right foot to go over your left foot. If you will go counterclockwise, aka left arm stab, then you will want your left foot to go over your right. When crossing your feet, try your best to make your toes touch and stay locked, as this will give you more control over the force that the pump exerts. If anything, keep your ankles locked as possible because I know it is difficult to keep your toes touching. The angle between your leg and hamstring should be a little more than 90 degrees. Keep your knees as far apart as possible and keep hips high off the ground. You must stay on your shoulders for the most part. You will experience very painful lower back or tailbone bruising if you lower your hips during munchmills, so I heavily advise you discipline yourself sooner rather than later. The third exercise I have is head coin drop to munch backspin. While the last exercise simulates the first part of the munchmill, this exercise will simulate the latter part of the munchmill. It will help you understand the importance of pumping your arms and transitioning onto your back from your head. Start off with your head on the ground and your legs spread out with your arms in the barrel position. Pump your arms to the side as shown and transfer your weight and pressure onto your shoulders while simultaneously crossing your legs. Move execution. Step 1. Start from hang glide, not standing. When first learning the munchmill, it is difficult to control your momentum if you start from standing. This is because since the body is more compact, acceleration occurs faster, while negative acceleration, also known as slowing down, slimly occurs sooner if you cannot control yourself. Starting from hang glide ensures that you can control the momentum caused by the whip of your legs as the force of your kick oscillates in and out of your hips/legs as you munch. This step should be taken care of from the exercise section. Step 2. The kick, push, munch, pop, etc. Never fully extend your legs during this step. It is only a minimal kick. At first, you will have to experiment with your kick, as the sweet spot for the right amount of force varies. Don't be afraid to start off with a big kick, then slowly take it down a few notches. However, do not start off with a small kick. Kick should be focused up and not out or to the side. Kicking up generates the height necessary for your hips to stay above the ground. Your hips stabilize your body's equilibrium as momentum continuously shifts. If your hips or butt ever touch the floor, you will lose all your momentum instantly and it is difficult to recover. The kick starts and comes from your hips. The force moves through your knees and finally exerts itself through your legs. Do not just kick using one of the 3 aforementioned body parts. You need to combine the power of your hips, knees, and legs to combine into one fluid and strong motion. Even though you are kicking, your hips are still rotating just like a normal windmill. The difference here, however, is that your hips don't have as much room to rotate, which is why generating height through the kick is so essential to the munchmill. Your hips continuously rotating will allow you to execute multiple and clean munchmills, while your munchmill kick is the vehicle to achieving hip rotation. Step 3. Completing one rotation via the use of your arms. Using your hands. Learn munchmills by using hands at first, then learn how to do them barreled. Once you are comfortable with munching on your back, continue your momentum generated by your legs and hips by pumping, then turning over and using your hand. Your hands will be your guide in getting over to the neutral position of your back on the floor. The push of your hands help you generate more height for your hips and legs to come through with more power. Try to get one good munchmill this way. That means your feet stay connected throughout the entire motion and you are able to land on your upper back area without your hips contacting the floor. The key here is to really pop up with your hips using your legs. And once you are up, you need to use your hands to bring you back to neutral. If you are unable to get one rotation down, it is most likely because your hips aren't high enough. Your hands/arms only help hip height. The lower part of your body actually generates it. Once you are able to do 1, try for 2 to 4. Understanding the properties of the hand helper Munchmill will help greatly in learning an actual Munchmill. Using barreled arms. This is where knowing barrel mills comes into play. Once you barrel your Munchmills, you must generate additional momentum via a strong applied force from your arms. Synchronize your arm string with your leg pop or munch. Your arms should be away from your body at a comfortable enough distance. I personally don't barrel my arms as much as shown. But do not keep your arms close to your chest. Start off by extending as far as possible, then slowly bringing it down to find your sweet spot. Your arms are the key to completing one rotation, as the munch only provides you with the height and initial momentum to launch you into your Munchmills, while the arms allow you to continue your Munchmill. Make sure when you pump your arms that you pump at the same angle that your body is rotating. Do not pump them directly to the side, or else you will bruise your elbows. This concept carries over from barrel mills, but is not as easy to execute at first with Munchmills, given the different dynamics of Munchmills compared to barrel. Step 4. Continuing your Munchmills. Once you return onto your back in the cradle position, it is vital that you use your legs and feet to drive your hips off the ground and as close to your face as possible. The higher your munch, albeit not too high, the more momentum that is generated, thus allowing you to execute multiple rotations. As your Munchmill count increases, your velocity will similarly increase, and you will want to maintain this speed by only allowing your head, upper back, shoulders, and arms to touch the floor. Don't get lazy with either your leg kick or your arm pump. Simultaneously executing these are the key component of maintaining your momentum during your Munchmill. If one is lacking, then within 1 or 2 additional Munchmills, you will feel the loss of momentum. As emphasized thoroughly, the only thing preventing your Munchmill count from being high is your hip touching the ground. As soon as your hip touches the ground, you lose all form of momentum. As you can see here, when I crash my Munchmills, I go into tap mills because my hips are already on the ground. In this example, when I feel that my hips are getting too low, I expend extra energy into my pop so that I can get into a halo, which essentially resets my windmill momentum. Learn different ways to crash your Munchmill, which all depends on how fleshed out your power move toolbox is. Good luck in trying this move, and I hope I helped.